My name's Paul Trevillion. I'm known as the Master of Movement or the Leonardo of Line. I've been drawing faces since I was a little boy. I believed it was the pencil that did the drawing, and I used to take the pencil to bed. Even today, 81 years on, I still sleep with a pencil under my pillow. This is a piece of pencil art. Very pleased with this because it is Bobby Moore. I mean, everyone knows Bobby Moore, no matter wherever you go. He never showed his teeth when he smiled. And yet he had this great smile. It was a reassuring smile. It was this comforting smile. It was a smile that said, yes, I know what's going on. I did this in pencil. There's no way, unless you take a rubber and go like that you can tell that that's a print. The reproduction is frightening. It's unbelievable. He was such an icon, such a legend. And when I look at that, I've got Bobby. They won't be on sale for long. And if you haven't got one, you're going to regret it. I say I'm 23 with 60 years experience, but it's taken me 80 years to work with one medium, pen and ink. And when I look at that is Jack Nicklaus. That was a big challenge to get Jack, a massive challenge. And when I finished it, I believed that I had captured Jack Nicklaus. It was a labour of love. And they must be made into prints because I want other people to be able to enjoy it. An artist is never recognised in his lifetime. It's always after he's passed on. These will double, treble in value. They will go through the roof. I promise you they will go through the roof. Jack, although I met him a few times, I found him more than a golfer. He had that face of immortality. I was told if ever you draw Jimmy Greaves running, never put the ball by his feet. And I said, why's that, Jimmy? And he said, because it's in the net. It was Ingres who said, real art is pencil and ink. When you work in oils, you can cover up mistakes, you can add, you can take away. This is pen and ink. Make one mistake, start again. Now, when I was a little boy, my mum and dad were not artists. And they said, look, we can only judge your work if you draw faces that we know. Draw some sports stars. Can you draw the stars of the silver screen? She said, yeah, that's good, that's Mickey Rooney, that's Orson Welles. I'm not sure, who's that supposed to be? But I had to get the faces right. So when Jimmy Greaves' son said to me, you've nailed him. I said, how good is it? He said, it's better than any photograph I've seen. And he's got one, he's got the original. He's got the original Jimmy Greaves. I always said, Jimmy, why does your hair always fall across your forehead? He said, I don't know, that's his trademark. Draw Jimmy Greaves and you don't put his hair like that, it's not Jimmy Greaves. Well, that's the smile of a winner. So I love that one. It's another masterpiece, one for the wall. I couldn't have asked for more than to get the commission to do this for the Celtic Foundation because that's history. I met Jock Stein and he was very modest about being the first and the one we most remember at winning the Champions Cup. It took a team from Scotland to do it. All lived within 7 miles of each other. Jimmy Johnson, absolutely unbelievable. And when I look at it, he's with me now. And that's the man. And when I look at Tommy, I love that one of Tommy. That's the boot that put the ball in the net. They were the first team. That's a trophy so many clubs have never won. Piece of football history. And it's got the signatures of some of the players, look. Celtic green, you got the gold. It's the whole business. If there's any left, make sure you get one. For movement, I've never done better than that. I've got close, but I've never done better than this one of Michael Jordan. You can smell the leather on that ball. How I did that, I look at it, how did I do that? I don't know how I did that netting. But you can feel that netting, it's coming down. I mean, that's on the paper before I start. I look at a piece of white paper, I see Michael Jordan, but nobody else does. So when I do that, it's for other people's enjoyment. I've seen 1 or 2 paintings of Babe Ruth, and I said, oh, I'd like to get one of them, but where can I get a print? You can't get it. The people who got it at the time were the lucky ones. So there are some people who are going to look at this and they're going to say, I'm going to be one of the lucky ones. These are prints, but they're every bit as good as the originals. This is Michael Jordan at the master of movement. This is the best drawing I've ever done of Muhammad Ali. And when he died, the Observer got on to me and they said, have you got anything on Muhammad Ali? I said, look, I've got a drawing. This is taking me over 20 years to finish. They said, can you finish it? And when I finished it and took it into the Observer, 2 people put their fingers in their ears. They actually thought they could hear him scream. Look at the eyes, look at the nose. But you don't hear the scream. With that drawing, you hear the voice. You've got the Trevillion signature, look, right across. It's almost as though it's been rubber stamped. And that's because there's 2 little pieces in that signature which authenticate it. And nobody knows what they are, except the artist. Look at Pele, look at this. You can see it's the same artist. That's the beauty of it. It's the same technique where I go down. See, there's no paint there. But I made sure on this one, I kept the background white. Because his hair, I didn't want another Pele disaster. Pele is just magic. That is power. One of my favourite pieces, it's called the Pele Explosion. This is, and why Pele loved it, was the feet. And there is no feet. If you see my feet, you know where I'm going. And he loved the way the arms, boom, boom, the white. You can't do that slowly. So I work very fast. I was born in 1934, so when the war broke out, I was 5. And because there was a rage, I had to stop drawing. So I was always afraid that there'd be a raid. I wanted to finish it before I had to stop and run down in the shelter. I used to work with the basics: a pen, a pencil, 1 brush, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles of ink. I defy anybody to do what I do with pen and ink. Now, it took an 80-year apprenticeship learning pen and ink. This is what these prints represent. When you buy a print, you're getting 80 years of a skill that even now, today, I still feel, perhaps I can be better. The reproduction of these is fantastic. I can't believe I did them. Honestly, I look at these, I can't believe, I don't know how I did them. Tendulkar is another name that will live forever. Now, whenever you talk cricket, the name Tendulkar will always come up. And I remember talking to Dennis Compton, and he said, when I go out there, I look up at the scoreboard and I see the 100. It's just a question of getting the runs as quick as I can. Well, this guy didn't see 100, he saw 200, sometimes 300. He was the machine, he was the scoring machine. And when I did that drawing of him, it was very difficult in pen and ink to convey it, just a little bit of growth of beard. I swear to this day that when I come down the next day to look at it, a little bit extra had grown. I honestly felt I would have to shave him. If you get this print, this is when you're going to know you've got a masterpiece. I've done millions and millions and millions of paintings. These are my best works. My artwork is not photographic. A photograph freezes a moment. Art releases it. Honestly, I look at them, it's unbelievable. Put that on your wall, you'll never regret it. The Pele portrait, if someone was to say to me, there's only one painting that you can keep, it would be the Pele portrait. It was so difficult that when I put the black for his hair, it ran down so fast that I had to turn it this way. I had to work on the face upside down, but I was too late. I'd lost his hairline. With pen and ink, there's no correction. You have to start again. But you can't do that with this. And when I held it up, I thought I could just about save it. And then I got some brown. Bum, 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 bum. Took it in, and I saved it. And I thought, it's magic. And I'm so proud that these are framed so magnificent. Beautiful cut mounts, lovely, solid. I mean, this is solid. That stands for a lifetime. And that's a print. Every household should have that. Every household should have that print of Pele. And if they haven't, they're going to regret it. This, if you get it today, is your pension. If there's someone who can do that in pen and ink, then I'll never draw again. And that will, I honestly mean that, I will never draw again, because that's the best thing I've ever done in my life. I can't do it again. I've told you about the prints. I told you about the paintings. I told you if you're one of the lucky ones, you can own one of these. And the only place that you can go to get these is the Trevillion Artbox. I call it a program. And inside is everything about these paintings I've been talking about. Little stories about them. Absolutely magic. There's Jack, there's Pele, there's Mohammed. All in the art box, the Trevillion Artbox. Look it up now and be one of the lucky ones who owns a Trevillion art print. I promise you, it's your pension.